new report shows that Kenya is losing almost half of all treated water before it reaches consumers. The Water Services Regulatory Board's latest findings put water losses at 48%, meaning billions of shillings worth of water is never billed or paid for. This comes at a time when many households are still facing dry taps and water rationing across the country. So where is the water going? Why is so much of it being lost? And with 112.4 billion shillings allocated to the water sector in this year's budget, can the country finally fix the leaks? Let's unpack it. Imagine paying for a loaf of bread only to discover that half of it disappeared before it reached your kitchen. Now imagine that happening every single day, but instead of bread, it's water. Every day across Kenya, millions of liters of treated water are lost before they can generate any revenue. The water is pumped, treated and distributed, but somewhere between the treatment plant and your tap, it's lost.
The government has announced a nationwide crackdown
on illegal water connection.
Poor infrastructure maintenance have been identified as major contributors to high level of non-revenue water supply.
Water companies in the country are losing millions of shillings in uncollected revenue.
The result? An estimated 14.8 billion shillings lost every year.
Last year, the non-revenue was 44%, correct? This year, with more connections to the people, we are at 48%. And because most of you understand money, translated to finances, that translates to around 14.8 billion losses.
Money that could have repaired pipes, expanded services, or even connected more households to the grid. And while many Kenyans continue to experience rationing, dry taps, and rising demand, this year's budget has allocated 112.4 billion shillings to the water, sanitation, and irrigation sector. But can Kenya stop losing the water it already produces? Or will billions more continue to flow down the drain?
The level of non-revenue water is still very high at 42%.
Non-revenue water is the killer to our water service providers.
Saa hii nikienda Kileleshwa kuna maji. Kutoka Monday to Monday. Kirudi Lavington kuna maji. Lakini kirudi Kawangware hakuna maji. Kwa nini Kawangware hakuna maji?
To understand the problem, let's follow the journey of a single drop of water. It begins here at a treatment plant. Water is collected from rivers, dams, and other sources. It is then cleaned, treated, and pumped into a distribution network. Its destination? Homes, businesses, schools, hospitals. But somewhere along the journey, things begin to go wrong. At each stage, some water disappears, sometimes through bursts in aging pipes, sometimes through underground leaks that go undetected for weeks, sometimes through illegal connections tapping into main lines, and sometimes through faulty or outdated meters that fail to capture the actual usage.
There's a marriage of reasons why that happens. For example, energy. Energy is a great contributor to NRW in the eastern side of the country. From the side of the eastern region, the coast region, northeastern region, and the lower eastern region. Those are places that are dry, and they use a lot of electricity to pump. So you have pumping schemes. And when Kenya Power switches them off, maybe because of delay in payments, then it becomes a problem because they're not able to pump water. When a system is switched off and switched on, then it's going to affect a lot of things. Some of the things it's going to affect is our pressure levels. So when the water comes, once it's switched on again, then pipes burst. There's a lot of pressure levels that are not managed.
Experts have a name for all this: non-revenue water. Simply put, It's a difference between water that is produced and water that is actually billed and paid for.
It simply means that we have taken water into our tanks, into our treatment plant, and we have made that water into good quality. Whether you're getting the water from a borehole, whether you're getting it from a fountain, whether we are getting it from a river, whatever source, but the water has come into our treatment plants. We've treated the water. The water is good for drinking now, good for human consumption. And then that water is put into our pipelines. From the minute it leaves the treatment plant, good water, good quality water, and goes out to be distributed. Out of that 1,000 liters of water, we are saying that 450 liters just disappear.
And the scale of the problem is staggering. According to sector data, Kenya loses about 44% of all treated water through non-revenue water. That means that for every 100 liters treated and distributed, only about 56 liters generates revenue. The rest is lost. Now, to put that into perspective, the global benchmark for non-revenue water is about 20%. Kenya's losses are more than double that. And while water loss may sound like a technical issue, the effects are felt far beyond the pipes.
How much is it impacting on our national government's budget on health? Because you take bad water, you end up in hospitals. How much is it impacting on children to go to school instead of them going to fetch for water somewhere else? Yet this money, 12 billion plus, could be used to extend that water for that kid to go to school. How much is it contributing to women for sex, water for sex, which is totally, in this era, unacceptable.
For water service providers, every litre lost in the system also represents lost revenue needed to sustain operations. And that is why non-revenue water is often seen as one of the most important indicators of how efficiently a water utility is being managed.
We have applied to IPRA as the association for the water providers and requested them to give us a dedicated tariff. This has been discussed even in Parliament.
One of the challenges that rocks the coast region fervently is the pumping cost of water.
The cost of water in the coastal region is among the highest in Kenya.
The cost of power is between 60 to 70 million every month.
The disconnection of water by Kenya Power has led several times to closure of schools, hospitals, and homes suffer because of lack of water.
A system that loses less water is generally more financially stable, more accountable, and better positioned to serve its customers. But the bigger question now is whether utilities can meet those targets with the systems that they currently operate.
We waive loans. We write off loans for sugar farmers, for coffee farmers, for tea farmers, for cashew nuts, and many others. But we have what we call historical legacy debts in the water sector that are making these WSPs not to be financially viable or bankable. But you have not written them off. Write off the debts, just like you write off in all other sectors. And let the books for these WSPs be clean enough for financial institutions to look at them and say these are bankable institutions and we can be able to do it.
This is where the 2026-2027 budget comes in.
Let the government come with good proposals like anything to do with water is zero rated, is VAT exempt, is exempted from taxes, because water is life.
This year, the government has allocated 112.4 billion shillings to the water, sanitation and irrigation sector.
We need 1 trillion to address the issue of water by 2030. For each and every one of us in this country to have water, we need 1 trillion Kenya shillings. If you give us 100 billion, that is 10% of exactly what we need. So that 10% can only do 10% of exactly what your problem of water is. If today we are given 1 trillion shillings to work on it, on water infrastructure, we can do it in 3 years. We're not asking for much. Give us 350 this year, give us 350 the year after, and give us 350 the year after that. And solving the problems of water. 1 trillion only.
Ultimately, Kenya's water challenge isn't just about how much water is available. It's about how much of it actually reaches the consumers and how much of it is actually paid for. Because every drop that disappears isn't just water lost, it's also opportunity lost for the millions of Kenyans still waiting for reliable supply.